This is how to unlock the Terminal Dark Ops challenge in Black Ops 6 Zombies. This will go over exactly what you need to unlock it, what the best way to unlock it is, and tips to help you beat it on your first try. If this video helps you, be sure to help me back in return in the form of dropping a like on the video. To get this Dark Ops calling card, you need to beat the Terminus main quest after round 50. It can't be on round 50, it has to be after round 50. So you have to beat this Easter egg on at least round 51. It can be whatever round you want after round 51, just again, make sure you don't go in a boss fight on round 50 because when you beat it around 50, you won't get the Dark Ops and this will just be one huge waste of time. For your class, you want to run the GS45 and you want to make sure you have a few attachments unlocked on it. First, you want to put the suppressor on to increase your salvage drop rate. The main way you'll be killing zombies in this game will be with the GS45s, but you'll want to keep the streak in your back pocket as a second chance, or in case an amalgam spawns. Each streak that you buy will either cost 1,250 salvage if you're buying the Hellstorm, or if you're buying the Chopper Gunner and Mutant Injection, 2,500 salvage, so make sure you put on this suppressor to stay at a salvage surplus. The next attachment you'll want to run is Extended Mag 2 for extra ammo, and finally, you want to put the Akimbo attachment on to have 2 pistols. This will make it a lot easier to do the strat I'll go over in this video. With that said, you'll need to get the GS45s to level 31, which is the max level for the GS45, to get Akimbo unlocked. So go play Liberty Falls for a bit until you get it. As long as you have these 3 attachments on, then you'll be fine, but if you want to copy the rest of my setup, here it is. Also, if you have any of the following augments unlocked, make sure you put them on, because every augment you put on will make this slightly easier. For Juggernog, put on Probiotic and Hardened Plates. For Stamina Up, run Free Faller and Hard Target. For Speed Cola, run Classic Formula and Quick Swap. For Quick Revive, make sure you run Dying Wish. For your other augment, it doesn't really matter, just make sure you have on Dying Wish. For Elemental Pop, run Electric Cherry. For Deadshot Daiquiri, run Deadhead and Dead Set. And for PhD Flopper, run Dr. Ram and Tribologist. One last augment, if you have any unlocked on Ether Shroud, run Extra Charge and Burst Dash. Finally though, for your tacticals, make sure you run Decoys. For your lethal, run C4s, and for your field upgrade, run Ether Shroud. Also, for the strategy, you want to make sure you have one of the 3 following score streaks unlocked. The Mutant Injection, which you unlock at level 39, the Chopper Gunner, which you unlock at level 45, or the poor man's version of this, the Hellstorm, which you unlock a lot earlier than the other 2, and it costs a lot less salvage as well, but it'll be a lot harder to do this strat in this video if your main streak is a Hellstorm. To start this, you want to be upgrading your GS45 as often as possible, and also, you want to get up to the boss fight before you start the high round strat. After you beat the bomb step and the door next to Melee Macchiato was open, get all the way up to this point before you start the high round strat. If you don't know how to do the Easter egg, or you just need tips on how to beat it in general, you can click the card on the screen right now to go watch my Terminus Easter egg guide. When you finish the bomb step, it is now time to get to round 51. So upgrade your GS45s as much as you can and put Napalm Burst on it to help you kill the Manglers easier. You can put Dead Wire on it to help you deal with the amalgams, but you will run into a lot more Manglers than you will amalgams, so if I were you, I would just run Napalm Burst. For your second weapon, just hold on to the Beam Smasher because we will be using an All-Fire on it to kill the bosses really easily in the later rounds. Get Elite's Jug, PhD, Speed Cola, Quick Revive, and Elemental Pop, and finally get a Self Revive if you went down, and get either a Chopper Gunner, a Mutant Injection, or the Hellstorm. And now that you have all of that, it is now time to start the high round strat. So to start the high round strat, you want to come to the room where you craft the Beam Smasher. This is where you'll be camping for most of the game. Zombies will come from 3 spots in this strat. Behind this door, through this hole in the wall on the other side, and finally, through the doorway. Now I say there's 3 spots zombies can spawn, but we can actually do a trick to stop the zombies from spawning outside of this room when you're in here. Run in the Wonder Weapon room and stay in here for like 5 or so seconds and then save and quit your game. Once you're out of there, load back in, and now anytime you go into Wonder Weapon room, the zombies only come from behind the door and through the hole. Bosses can still make their way through here, so just be careful of that, but more often than not, since you did this glitch, they won't be able to path to you, so you shouldn't have to worry about that, but again, just keep that in mind. If this ends up getting patched, I'll leave a pinned comment down below, but if there's no comment, then just assume that it still works and do it, because it'll make going through the rounds a lot faster. For this strategy, you just want to use the GS45s and kill as many of the zombies as you can. Try to let the zombies get in the map before you kill them so they can drop salvage. If you kill the zombies on the left before they stand, then they won't drop salvage, and same thing for the right. If you kill these zombies before they jump the window and get in the map, again, they won't drop salvage. And remember what I said earlier, you want to try and get as much salvage as you can in case you get really bad streak luck or you keep going down. If you shoot the ground where I am, then you can pretty much turn your brain off, and your GS45s will kill them as soon as they get in the map. If you get overran and you're about to die, spam your score streak button to use it and finish the round with it. This can easily be done if you have the chopper gunner or the mutant injection, but for the Hellstorm, you most likely won't be able to finish the round, especially in the 30s and 40s, so after you use the Hellstorm, run out of the room and finish the round outside. When you kill all the zombies, the round probably won't end, and that's because there was an army of manglers just roaming around the map somewhere. If you run into the room that Elemental Pop is in, then most of them will spawn above you. Make sure you stand under the platform in here so the manglers can't shoot you until they drop into the map. Once they drop down, use the All-Fire on the Beam Smasher to get a red orb around their heads, and then pull out your GS-45 and spray their heads until you kill them. If you have Napalm Burst, then you should be able to kill them in around 8 to 10 shots. When you kill a mangler, look to see if you dropped a chopper gunner or a mutant injection. If you did and you don't have one, be sure to pick it up, because every time that you get lucky and a mangler drops one of these streaks, you'll be saving up to 2,500 salvage, which is so helpful in this high round strat, it's not even funny. If none of them dropped a streak and you still need one, then save the last mangler and pick up the best loot key on the ground and use it in the armory to hopefully get a score streak. If you did, great, but if you didn't, then unfortunately, you'll have to go to the crafting table and craft one for 2,500 salvage. Speaking of, let's talk about what to do at the end of every single round. First, you want to replate and grab the plates from the zombies on the ground in this room, and then next you want to buy ammo for your GS-45s in the jug room, and finally, you want to do what I just talked about with the manglers to finish the round and also get another score streak for next round. One last thing, this doesn't really have to be done at the end of every round, but just do it while you're progressing through the rounds. Hit the Gobblegum machine to try and get Perkaholic, Killjoy, and Idolize for the boss fight. Try to save them for the boss fight if you can, but if you have to use one during this, by all means, go ahead. You can do this strat for the teens and the 20s, but once you hit the early to mid 30s, you're gonna have to change things up a bit. Firstly, by the time you hit like round 35, you want to have your GS-45 Legendary Rarity and Tier 3 Pack-a-Punch completely maxed out. We're gonna keep camping in the Wonder Weapon room, but now what you want to do is you want to shoot both GS-45s at the same time to kill the zombies. Keep spamming your pistols until either your armor breaks or you go under 100 HP. As soon as you do, you want to pull out your score streak and finish the round with it. At this point, you have to do a different strat depending on which score streak you have. For the chopper gunner, you can just use it when you're about to die, but you can stand in the doorway as I'm doing, and as long as you make sure you're not outside this room, all the zombies will spawn in this room and they'll try to run out of it, but since you're blocking the doorway, all the zombies will get caught on your hitbox, so you can just aim at your hitbox to mow down the zombies. If you have the mutant injection, then you'll want to do a similar thing. As soon as you have to reload the first time, you want to fight to get to the front of this room, and as soon as you have an opening, walk towards the front of the room and spam your button to use it. I say do it like this because sometimes if there's too many zombies around you when you pop this, then it won't work and you'll go down, and you don't want that. So just do it how I said to and you'll be fine. Turn around and block the zombies here and spam your melee button to finish off the round. At this point in the game, if you have the Hellstorm, then it's going to be really hard for you to do this strat. So around the time you get to the mid 30s, I recommend just training outside and try to farm chopper gunners and mutant injections from the bosses. When a boss does drop one, pick it up and do the aforementioned strat for the next round. Now let's talk about what to do when the amalgam spawns. If you hear or see one spawn, hold out in this room until he gets to you. When he does, pull out your chopper gunner or your mutant injection and use it to kill him. Amalgams will spawn every 5 to 6 rounds, and once one spawns, there's a pretty good chance another one will spawn in the same round, especially if you're in the late 30s and 40s. So stay in the streak until you kill the other one too. Now let's talk about what to do if you go down in this room. As soon as you get back up, you want to use your Ether Shroud to get out of this room, and then while it's still active, run to the crafting table and buy armor plates and a new revive, and if you don't have one, get a decoy grenade too. Then take this path and drop down here and get in a boat and ride all the way out to the ship. At the back of the ship, you can find the Wonder Fizz. Throw a decoy on the ground and buy all of your perks, and once you have all your perks back, take the other path as I do to get back in your boat, and once you're back in your boat, ride back to the main island and use the zipline to quickly get back to the Wonder Weapon room. The last thing I'm going to talk about before the boss fight is the parasite rounds. If you did the trick earlier to stop the zombies from spawning, then they will only spawn right here. Shoot 2 shots of your Sally and Fourth here every like 3 to 4 seconds and you will beat the parasite round in under a minute. It is so fast doing it this way, it is insane. Do this strategy until you're at the end of round 50. Save the last mangler, and now we're going to set up for the boss fight. For the boss fight, you want to get a few things. You want to get Shadow Rift on your GS-45 to do more damage to the boss in the last phase. You want to get a Chopper Gunner or a Hellstorm. You want to get Killjoy for the last phase, Perkaholic for in case you go down, and Idolize in case you're about to go down. Obviously, get max armor, get max plates, get Juggernaut, Quick Revive, Stamina Up, Speed Cola, PhD, and Deadshot Daiquiri, and finally get a Self Revive if you don't have one. When you're fully set up and ready for the boss fight, go down in the Biolab and kill the last mangler in here. When the round flips to 51, wait a few seconds and then interact with the door to start the boss fight. I'm not going to go too in depth with the boss fight itself because I'm assuming you've already beaten it before. If you haven't, then why are you doing this for the first time on round 51? And also, card, click it. Watch the video. Instead, I'm gonna go over a strat to help you beat it. For phase 1, just spam the GS45 at the Kraken. When the Kraken's weak spot is his red sack, you can shoot literally anywhere on his body and you will deal the same amount of damage with the GS45 as you would if you shot the red sack. So, anytime this is his weak spot, just spam the Kraken to damage him. After he goes away, just train around the zombies for a minute until he comes back for phase 2. For this phase, he will cycle through 3 different weak spots, and when his weak spot is his mouth or his tentacles, then you have to shoot the weak spot to damage him. When his mouth is the weak spot, you'll deal a lot less damage if you don't shoot it, and when his tentacles are the weak spot, then he will be completely immune from damage aside from his tentacles. Now, I recommend holding it, but if you need to, pop Killjoy in this phase to deal extra damage. After he leaves again, an amalgam will spawn. Use the trick we've been talking about literally this entire video to take him out as soon as possible, and once the Kraken comes back, he will do a wipeout attack. When he's doing this wipeout attack, he will turn blue. Now, just like when his weak spot was the red sack, when the Kraken is blue, then you can shoot anywhere on his body and you will deal the same amount of damage. When he starts charging up for the wipeout attack, count to 6 and then dive in the water. After he does the wipeout attack, look at his tentacle right here to see if he's still blue. If he is, then take a different ladder up from the one you're currently at, and just wait around until he turns back to normal. As soon as he does turn back to normal, dive in the water and pull out your chopper gunner and spam him with it. If you pull out the chopper gunner while he's blue, then the gun will most likely stall and you'll do barely any damage to him, but from my testing, if you pull it out when he's not blue and when he's swinging his tongue, you'll be able to mow him down with the chopper gunner to deal a boatload of damage, no pun intended. And after you get kicked out of it, pop Idolize and climb back up and kill him to beat the Terminus Easter egg on round 51. After the cutscene, click continue playing, and then after the rewards on the ground, you can save and quit to get the Terminal Dark Ops calling card. If I was able to help you with this guide, make sure you drop a like. If you guys want me to cover other Dark Ops challenges, let me know which ones down below in the comments. Shout out to my members, thank you all so much for supporting me, I really do appreciate it. If you want to become a member and get access to members only videos, members only emotes, and more, you can click the join button down below or the first link in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.